So the hypocrisy surrounding Warner Brothers that has been exposed in the last few months, it is astounding when you think about their stance with hashtag Listen and Believe. See, in an interview with Elle magazine, Gal Gadot exposed what it was like working with Warner Brothers, the same company that decided they would stand with an Aquaman 2 starlet and would fire JD from Fantastic Beasts 3, bringing up the fact that Joss Whedon supposedly threatened her career and told her, if you say anything about this, if you tell on me and try to get anything to happen, I'm going to make your career miserable. Basically, I'm going to end everything here and now. Now, you and we're going to talk about this hypocrisy today, remembering that Gal Gadot isn't the only person to have spoken up. Earlier in the year, you had Carissa Carpenter open up, making accusations about the same person, saying that on the set of WB's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, this guy, he was mean and backbiting, he was disparaging about others openly, he would play favorites, keeping drama going, saying that he would manipulatively weaponize her womanhood and faith against her. Yet color me shocked that the same company that tells you they're being socially responsible, they're standing with all, they're believing all, they chase the dollar signs and act repugnant behind the scenes. It's fun to call it out, at least, isn't it? Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. Oh, man. So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day. Yep, I'm talking to you, talking to all of you wonderful folks. I hope you are doing fabulously. And the thing that got me thinking about this, it was Ruby Rose, her accusations about Batwoman. Now, Warner, they have been fighting tooth and nail against said accusations, saying that they're a great place. I mean, after all, look at what they've done in the past. They've terminated employees. I mean, look at JD here. I wish to let you know that I've been asked to resign by Warner Brothers for my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I've respected and agreed to that request. Yet despite making them hundreds of millions of dollars, they'll treat you like absolute trash. And for good measure, they'll throw down on their customers, because even though their customers are saying, hey, this is wrong, that person you're backing, they're the ones that are the problem, they'll say, no, again, we hashtag believe all. We hashtag listen and believe, and you're wrong. We know that you're giving blowback to this. We know that you want us to listen to you. But you know what? We don't have to react to what you say. We don't have to treat what you say as gospel or accede to any of your wishes. You know why? Because we're in charge. We know what's best. That's what makes interviews like this so interesting. Like I said before, this is an interview with Elle magazine. It came up roughly 1 week ago. Look at that title right there, by the way. Gal Gadot is unafraid to face industry injustice. You know who's a perpetrator of industry injustice? People that work with Warner Brothers, people that are on their sets behind the scenes. Apparently, they've been delving into this for quite some time. Now, this interview is interesting because it brings up myriad Hollywood issues, and since Gal Gadot has worked with Warner Brothers for quite some time, many of these problems, they stick to Warner Brothers, basically like glue. She brings up things like salary, for example, only getting paid $300,000 for the first Wonder Woman, the movie making $800 million, and basically her having to go in and her having to negotiate, threatening to walk away from the company that, again, it stands with, it listens and believes, it pays fairly. Yeah, interesting, isn't that? Now, worse still, according to her, and remember, these are accusations, is what happens on the set of Justice League, particularly with Joss Whedon. She's reminded of statements that came up back in May. This was when Ray Fisher and other people, they were speaking up about Joss Whedon as well. But she said to Israel TV that Whedon kind of threatened my career and said if I did something, he would make my career miserable. Now, when asked about her reaction to this, she said, I was shaking trees as soon as that happened. But going back to that sense of righteousness I have, you're dizzy because you can't believe this was just said to you. And if he says it to me, then obviously he says it to other people. I just did what I felt like I had to do, and it was to tell people that that wasn't okay. She continues by saying, I would have done the same thing, I think, if I was a man. Would he tell me what he told me? Had I been a man, I don't know. We'll never know. But my sense of justice is very strong. I was shocked by the way that he spoke to me. But whatever, it's done. It's water under the bridge. She says she complained to Warner, by the way. They did something about it, too. But remember, they didn't get rid of Joss Whedon. In fact, many a person has spoken out about the behavior on that set. What they did is not bring him back after that movie. It crashed and burned because it lost them money. See, if you really want to feel for how WB, they stand with their employees and they stand with females, well, look at all of the things that came out about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Again, a WB and a UPN production. You had Sarah Michelle Gellar, for example, come out, say this here. This was after other statements had been made, but look at some of the key words in this. The first statement really sticks out. While I'm proud to have my name associated with Buffy Summers, I don't want to be forever associated with the name Joss Whedon. I mean, that is a powerful statement considering this guy, he basically was in charge of the flagship that made her career, that made her rich, and yet, you know what, she's staying with it. You can see it further through this. I am more focused on raising my family and surviving a beer bug currently, so I'm not going to be making any more statements at this time, but I stand with all survivors of abuse, and I'm proud of them for speaking out. That last statement there, I'm not going to say anything more on it, but I stand with the people here, the people that I knew personally, intimately, and I'm proud of them for finally saying what happened. Now, along with the accusations that came from Charisma Carpenter, you also had Michelle Trachtenberg. She actually posted this. Thank you, Sarah Michelle, for saying this. I'm brave enough now as a 35-year-old woman to repost this because this must be known. As a teenager with his not appropriate behavior, very not appropriate. She said basically she couldn't be left alone in a room with Joss Whedon. Why? Well, they didn't go into the details there, but as a teenager, she couldn't be left alone with the director. Yeah, again, those are some heavy accusations, especially considering people they supposedly complained about this, and Warner Brothers, they did nothing. Now, others, they spoke up too. You had Amber Benson say the following: Buffy was a toxic environment. This next part of the statement, it really has meaning too. It starts at the top, and it does, with Warner Brothers. We're not just talking about Joss Whedon, it's starting there. CEOs have been let go because of their behavior, and this stuff, I mean, it is a corporate culture. There was a lot of damage done during that time. Many of us are still processing it 20 plus years later. And we could do this all day too, talking about the hypocrisy of Warner Brothers, all of these statements that have come out about them versus their actions in firing somebody because, hey, something is going on behind the scenes. I wonder about that too. But anyway, you let me know what you think about this. And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff possible, so thank you. Want to help out with the channel, by the way? There are links in the description, but you being here, that matters more than anything. So thank you. I appreciate you. And with that, I'm going to end with a thank you again, and we will see you again soon.